I'm Anil Kumar. We are exploring sine and cosine functions. The question here is how to write cosine equation as a sine function. We have three examples to consider. The first one is cos theta equals to sine of what? Cos of half theta equals to sine of what? All are in degrees. And part C is cos of half theta plus 30 degrees is equals to sine of what? You can always pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. Then let's first understand how sine and cosine are really related. So let me just sketch a cosine function, and then we'll see how we can write it as a sine function. Cosine function starts with 1, goes to 0, minus 1, and then to 1. That is one particular cycle, right? So it goes from 0 to 360 degrees. So half is 180, and that is the quarter of the cycle is 90 degrees. Sine function, as you know, starts with 0. So basically, if I extend this to this half, what we get here is 0 on the left side. So that becomes the starting point for the sine function. So basically, you could see that the sine function is cosine translated 90 degrees, which is minus 90 degrees to the left, right? And therefore, we could write cos theta as sine of theta plus 90 degrees, correct? Since we moved 90 degrees to the left. Now 90 degrees in this particular case is also quarter of the cycle. So the relation basically is that cosine equation is equal to sine function translated quarter of cycle, in this case 90 degrees left. So therefore we get this plus theta. So this is for case A, right? Quarter of the cycle in case A is 90 degrees. So in other cases also, what you should do is find the time period, then add quarter of the time period to write cosine equation as sine function. So that's the concept. So with this concept, you can actually pause the video, answer all these questions. So let's do the next one, which for us is cos of half degree equals to sine of what? Now if we are talking about half degree, what is the time period? I could write this time period t as equals to 360 degrees divided by half, which is 720 degrees. Now what is quarter of 720 degrees? 1/4 of this time period is 1/4 of 720 degrees. 1/4 of 720 degrees, which is 180 degrees, correct? So that is the quarter cycle. So we have to add this quarter cycle. So what we can write here is sine of half, right? And instead of theta, I will write theta plus quarter cycle, which is 180 degrees. Do you see that? So that becomes the solution for the given equation, correct? I'd like you to pause the video, try the next one, and then look into my suggestions. Well, here it's kind of tricky. When we have cos of half theta plus 30 in degrees, we have to take half common. So we could write as cos of, when you take half common, you get theta, and then this gets multiplied by 260, right? So that is what you get. Now we have to write this cos equation as a sine function. Now as you can see, for half, time period is 720 degrees. Quarter of the cycle is 180 degrees. We have to add 180 degrees to this time, 60 degrees. So what we get here is this cosine equation could be written as sine of half theta plus 60 plus quarter of this cycle, which is 180, right, plus 180 in degrees. So that is equals to sine half theta. Just add them up. So 0, 80, 8 plus 6 is 14, 4, 1, 240 degrees. So that becomes the solution for the given equation. I'm Anil Kumar, and I hope the steps are absolutely clear. Thank you and all the best.